Give him another round of applause, please. Hello, everybody, and good evening. I'm Dan Maltz from the City Club of Cleveland. It's so great to see all of you here to help Milton and Tamar Maltz and the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage crown their 8th Stop the Hate essay contest winners. It's very exciting. Big thanks, of course, to Midview High School for sharing their original song, New Perspective, with us tonight. And you'll hear much more about the Youth Sing Out program later when our winning middle school and high school classes perform their thoughtful and very inspiring songs. Now, before we get started, I'd like you all to do me a quick favor and silence your phones. You don't have to put them away. If you want to tweet, the hashtag tonight is Stop the Hate. If you want to tweet at somebody, tweet at Stop the Hate US. You're about to hear, though, from some amazing, forward-thinking 11th and 12th grade activists, and we don't want any distractions, so you don't want your phone to go off in the middle of anything. I'm joined on the stage tonight, of course, by museum founders Milt and Tamar Maltz and Executive Director Ellen Rudolph, and of course, over here, the stars of the evening, our 10 finalists, who along with the 15 6th through 10th graders seated in the front 3 rows here, will take home $100,000 in grants and prizes tonight. So if you're keeping track or if you're handy with math, you realize that 8 years, $100,000, this year will mark $800,000 that the Maltz family and the Maltz Museum have given away over the last 8 years. Also on stage with us is Rachel Leffel, who will provide sign interpretation for tonight's program. Thank you very much, Rachel. Before we begin, I'd also like to thank our wonderful Youth Speak Out sponsors who each support our mission to stop the hate. Those sponsors are the Cleveland Clinic, Dealer Tire, Nordson Corporation Foundation, Dominion Resources, and Northeast Ohio Parent. Thanks, and thank you also to all of you who are here this evening. And a big round of applause. There were over 2,000 people, students, who submitted essays in this year's contest. A big round of applause for all of them, please. Also, there are many young people participating in tonight's program. The Diversity Acceptance Program from Solon High School, members of that program greeted you on your way in. The Rocky River High School cheerleaders. And last now, please stand as the Horizon Science Academy, U.S. Army, JROTC, presents the American flag and the flag of the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage. Thank you. So let me explain now how the winners are selected. All 2,300 written essays submitted this year were scored impartially by nearly 400 volunteers from across the country who acted as readers using a points-based system and blind scoring. In other words, they did not know the identities and they didn't know the schools of the writers. They only saw what's contained in the body of the essay. The top-scoring essays were identified as scholarship semifinalists and were then submitted to the panel of judges who also scored them blindly to select these 10 finalists. You should smile. Big smiles. You did great. And while the written essay scores have significant weight in determining the winners, that's not all. These young people have an important job to do tonight. Their oral presentation will be factored into their final score. And we want to thank the esteemed group of community leaders serving as judges for their time and energy. All of them, I'm about to introduce them. They are all visionaries in the areas of diversity and inclusion and equal opportunity. So let me introduce our judges. First, Dr. Susan Bixel, President and CEO of Jewish Family Service Association. Susan. Tai Chi Cham, Human Resource Director of Strategy and Inclusion for Lubrizol. Tai Chi. Diana Gates, Director of Diversity and Inclusion for the Cleveland Clinic. Eduardo Kim, Partner, Thompson Hine. Eduardo? Greg Levine, Consultant of Leadership Development for Ratliff and Taylor. Cynthia Norwood, Executive Director of the ARC of Greater Cleveland. Monica Price, Chief of Education for the City of Cleveland. Cecilia Render, Executive Director of the Nordson Corporation Foundation. And Apurva Valampati, first runner-up from last year's Stop the Hate Youth Speak Out competition. Thank you so much to all of you for your time and your energy, and to all of our readers. Now let's have the judges take their seats, please, and we'll be able to get started. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Executive Director of the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage, Ellen Rudolph.
It's an incredible honor to be on stage tonight with these courageous students who have stepped forward to share their stories of overcoming adversity, helping others, and making change in their schools and communities. The Stop the Hate Youth Speak Out essay competition is so important to the Maltz Museum's mission because the students you see before you bring our vision to life. They model every day the values that we stand for: respect and understanding among people, the importance of individual actions, personal connection, and building community. Since Stop the Hate began 8 years ago, more than 20,000 students have reflected and put into words experiences that shaped who they are and what they want their future to look like. We have a few alumni in the room tonight. In addition to our judge, Apurva Valampati, I want to welcome 2015 finalists Amani Hill, who was just last week awarded the 2016 Princeton Prize on Race Relations. And Christina Charlillo, who is a freshman at Notre Dame College. Also with us is Matt Sobel, the contest's very first grand prize winner from 2009. It's so nice to have you here supporting your fellow students. I also want to mention 2011 grand prize winner Alex Stoysavlovich, who recently wrote to us to let us know that he graduated this past fall summa cum laude from the University of Akron with a degree in social work. Alex shared, "This scholarship has truly afforded me a lifetime of opportunities that I'm forever grateful for. Winning the Stop the Hate essay contest has inspired me to be an agent of change and help progress equality for everyone across the world." Alex now plans to pursue a master's degree with an interest in mental health and civil rights law. We are so proud of Alex and all the Stop the Hate alumni for their hard work, their courage, and their willingness to pursue their dreams and goals. As you listen to the essays tonight, consider how many of them deal with situations that arise every day, in every school, and in every community. Our students are forced to confront complex societal issues. Discrimination on the basis of race, gender, sexual orientation, and disability. Once the realization of what is happening hits them, they then have to figure out how to deal with it, what to do about it. And all of that under enormous pressure to conform and perform in school. For each student telling their story here tonight, there are countless others who have not yet found their voice to speak out. I say this to underscore the importance of empowering students to influence each other in positive ways. Let's all be inspired by the students here tonight to take action. The world could definitely use a few more everyday heroes. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, a big, warm Cleveland welcome for Milt Maltz.
Thank you, Dan. And Ellen, I think you did a nice job of sort of telling us the story of the museum and why we're taking care of the educational needs of so many of these wonderful kids. But you know, you don't need another speech, do you? I've noticed that sometimes when I get up to talk, I look to see if people are looking at their watches. And then I know it's time to move on. So I will move on, but I'll give you one adage first. It's an old, old adage. It simply says this. Guess what? Money talks. And tonight, that $100,000 is going to talk to these kids right here. So, without further ado, Dan, let's get the show on the road.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. All right. So, I'm thrilled to be here, as you know. And Milt, don't go anywhere, because we're going to get this started here. But I do want to say, as Milt said, money talks, but it's really, it's more than that. The generosity that Milt and Tamar have shown the community and the nation, honestly, I mean, this is really kind of a national model. Over these last 8 years, it is more than just these, it's funny to say it's more than just these life-changing grants and scholarships, but it is more than these life-changing grants and scholarships. The significant dollar amount motivates so many students to think about these things, these issues, how to stop hate speech. And oftentimes these students are thinking about them and articulating their own personal beliefs for the very first time in their lives. That's the power of a generous gift like that. And that is the power of this moment, Milt and Tamar and Ellen. And on behalf of the community, I thank you. So, I think the way we do this, Milt, right? You come on up here and we introduce one. We go one by one, and then you get to ask them a few questions, and then they get to deliver their speech, correct?
That's the right way to do it.
All right, all right. Well, let's get started then.
Are you kids all set and ready?
Are you guys ready? Yeah?
Ready?
All right.
Okay.
First up is Christian Borky, a senior from Gilmore Academy in Gates Mills, Ohio.
Christian, come on up here. I'm going to ask each of you youngsters, well, I say youngsters because I'm 86, but what the heck. I'm going to ask you a question, but first I hear that you love the theater.
That is correct.
Tell us why.
I love sharing experiences with people in the audience who I don't know. I love telling them stories, and I love connecting to people on the most primal level. And that's just my favorite art form.
But you know, Christian, there's one thing I don't quite understand. It says in my notes here that you plan to pursue a degree in Chinese or the performing arts. How do you put those together?
Oh, I don't.
Well, which are you choosing?
Well, that's still up in the air.
That's the enigma. Okay. Before you start, I'm going to give each and every one of you a question, and it'll be an interesting one. Your question is, Christian, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Okay.
Dum-de-dum-dum.
Okay, everyone might roll your eyes at me for this answer, but I think if I could live anywhere in the world, I would live in the United States. Here's why. The United States is behind on so many issues. It has a lot of poverty, it's behind in education, and it still has a lot of barriers to break down in terms of racism, sexism, homophobia, all of that. And my calc teacher once recently told me that her professor had told her, do something that you hate, otherwise nothing will change. So I don't like any of those issues, and I'd like to change them. And the only way to do that is by living in the country in which they happen. It's not the only country in which they happen, but it provides some of the greatest opportunities, like this moment right now, to speak out against these issues.
And this is why you are at this podium tonight. Okay, Christian, you're on.
Awesome. On St. Patrick's Day in 2014, I became a minuscule part of gay history. I marched with the first exclusively LGBT group in the Cleveland St. Patty's Day Parade. I, with my orange Converse and gray jeans, was the most flamboyantly dressed of the small but mighty group. We held modest signs that advertised the Gay Games 9 that were being held in Cleveland that summer. For the most part, we were well accepted. But there was one ridiculously angry man who I still remember to this day. Holding the hand of his innocent child, the man yelled violent obscenities at us, cursing, burning metaphors, the whole spiel. Now, I am a lesbian, but I've never had anyone come after me in such a brutal way before. Shocked, the only thing I could say in that stupid, awkward moment was, "Have a good day, come to Gay Games." Granted, I didn't hope that guy had a good day, but really, what would yelling something rude back have done? Would he suddenly and climactically realize the error of his ways? Absolutely not. And it is this mindset that helps me overcome the less dramatic hatred that I face every day. I go to a Catholic school, and one would think that I regularly encounter people like that man on the street, but that's not the case. The real and unsettling fact is that many teachers, despite having the best intentions when teaching some controversial church issues, still subscribe to intolerant ideas regarding gay people. Recently, I'd reread some religion notes that I'd taken over the past few years, and in the interest of time, I'd like to share just one that stuck with me. God gave gay people the choice of abstinence, but this call to holiness is all too often ignored. Having to take these notes is an incredibly dysphoric experience. I've gotten A+ in every religion class that I've taken, but that's not something I feel proud of. To combat this hatred that is taught in our school, I co-founded my school's Gay-Straight Alliance. A Catholic GSA may seem oxymoronic to most people, and my school's administration is no exception. After much discussion, they decided to allow the club to exist, but in secret. That means no announcements, no flyers around the school, etc. And I understand that the administrators had their hands tied, but silencing the LGBT community even further is not going to solve the fact that homophobia is literally written into our curriculum. I hope to finally make the GSA public by the end of the year, and I think it can happen. I have learned that getting angry and shaming people is not the way to change the way they think. I mean, that guy at the parade yelling about my inevitable damnation did not make me any straighter. The converse of that is, therefore, applicable. It is with patient, disciplined, nonviolent action that true progress can be made. And maybe with some luck of the Irish. Thank you.
Next up is Oberlin High School's very own Elijah Bugg.
Elijah, I understand that you are the captain of the football team and named All-Ohio.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Maybe the Browns could get some help. I understand you're going to attend either Baldwin-Wallace or Heidelberg to study philosophy and pursue a degree in sports management. Now, as I recall, Heidelberg is in Tiffin, Ohio.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, why did you pick those two?
Well, Baldwin-Wallace being downtown Cleveland, and me wanting to pursue a degree in sports management, I would have the opportunity to have a great internship with the Cleveland Browns because they have a partnership. But in Heidelberg, it's where my brother's attending, and they also have a very good sports management program. But I feel like to get a minor in philosophy, I would have to go to Heidelberg because they have a little bit more better curriculum for philosophy.
Wow, that's interesting. I hope you picked the right school.
Me too.
I'm going to ask you the tough question now.
Okay.
Are you ready? If you could pick one person from history to be in the audience today, who would it be and why?
I hoped you wasn't gonna give me this one. This may sound just a little cliche, but I would say Martin Luther King Jr. Because for him to be here, seeing that now we're not only having things continue on with African American racism, like with the Ferguson riots and the things happening all over the world, but also like LGBT, they're fighting for rights, and it's like his steps that he fought for are still happening, and we're still striving for our steps ourselves.
I think that's a marvelous response and so much on the money. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Elijah, you're on.
Well, thank you. We had just won our Little League All-Star game to move on in the tournament. I felt confident. Nothing could bring me down. Baseball isn't for niggers. After the lights and the buzz of the wind had faded away, I thought back on those words. I knew he was talking to me. I was the only black kid on the team. but I hadn't thought about what he was trying to say. Was he saying because of the color of my skin, I couldn't be good at baseball? Something I didn't ask for? Something I couldn't change? This is my first time experiencing racism, but this cut deeper than baseball. I felt that he was saying because of my skin color, I couldn't be good at anything. I was sitting in the guidance counselor's office in a stiff chair across from her big wooden desk. She steered me away from taking an advanced English course, even though I passed standard English with an A. She wouldn't recommend it to a student like me. A student like me, being both minority and low income, not many people expected me to do well. But I took that course, and I made honor roll. I've made honor roll or merit roll every semester since. I'm now hitting the marks I set for myself. I'm graduating high school, I'm going to college, playing college football. During my senior year, I was captain of our football team and named All-Ohio. I learned a good work ethic, communication skills, how to be a leader and a role model. I apply these skills to my academics. I do understand college is more than football. After having a troublesome freshman year, I worked hard in school to bring my GPA up, resulting in a 1.4-point jump. I co-founded a community service program, PRO, Phoenix representing Oberlin. PRO bridged the gap between the middle school and the high school to create a mentoring program for students in similar circumstances. I began to break down barriers in my life on the Little League field and continued to do so throughout my high school. I realized that my own success would come from my own ability to overcome any adversity, because not everybody's cheering for me. Through my experiences from Little League to advanced English to become a varsity football captain, I learned how to overcome adversity and be a leader for myself, my friends, and my community. In high school, I was a role model to my community, proving that a kid from the wrong side of the tracks could achieve their goals. I don't yet know what I plan to do when I arrive on my college campus. I'm still striving for goals I've set myself. But I know I will continue to be a role model and lead by example to people who have shared my experiences. It's now my turn to lend a hand. Thank you.
Next up is Isabel Sands, Jr. from Orange High School.
Isabel, you were a junior, and I understand that you love physics, math, and astronomy. But 20 years ago, people would say, but you're a girl. And look at you today. You broke the glass ceiling. You're also playing the viola, and editor of the school newspaper, and you're the academic challenge team captain. How do you find the time to do all this?
I think that I have a lot of passion about all of the activities I'm involved in, and it's really important to me that I find the time.
That's great. Now, it says you play the viola. Tell me, what kind of music do you like? Classics, rock, whatever?
I'm definitely a bit of a classical music nerd. Also more contemporary orchestral arrangements. My current favorite is probably Samuel Barber's Adagio for Strings. I also love film scores related to space-related movies like Interstellar and Gravity.
Well, I think this young lady has a great future ahead of her. Well, let's see how you're going to answer this question. Are you ready? If you could change one thing about yourself, Isabel, what would it be?
I think I would like to be taller.
That's simple and easy. Thank you, Isabel. I know that story. But sometimes if you do things right, you can feel like you're 10 feet tall.
Yep.
That's what counts. Anyway, you're on.
Thank you. The discrimination faced by women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM, receives a lot of press at the university level. However, this stigma begins much earlier in a girl's life. During my kindergarten weather exploration unit, my teacher had the boys study the formation of clouds, while girls
were relegated to building and decorating an umbrella. At the age of 5, this social norm became obvious to me. Science was for the boys. Fashion was a far more acceptable pursuit for me. Unfortunately, this was only the beginning, a pattern that continued throughout my primary school career. In elementary school, my teachers would encourage their female students to write stories or draw pictures during free time, while they encouraged their male students to build Lego robots. Never did it occur to them to attempt to mix these boundaries. Instead, they catered to the worsening stigma against any student who did make that attempt. By middle school, the obstacles facing a girl with aptitude for STEM subjects were readily apparent. When I received the highest score on a pre-algebra test, a male classmate protested, "But you're a girl." The next year, I received the highest score on the 7th grade math competition, and some of my male co-contestants just stopped talking to me. I think it was then that I decided I just didn't care. Breaking down the barriers that have dissuaded women from pursuing careers in STEM for hundreds of years requires one to ignore the status quo. I've adopted a strange sort of optimism, the belief that I will persevere where others have lost hope, as well as the resolve to follow through on that belief. Once I came to terms with the difficulties of the path I wished to take, I felt far better equipped to handle the situations that faced me in middle school. So what if only a quarter of the students in my experimental physics class were female? We didn't need safety in numbers. Instead, we succeeded based on our individual strength and intelligence. But one can only stand the status quo for so long before the desire for change consumes her. I wrote of my experiences and observations as a girl in STEM in a front-page editorial for my school newspaper. Even though some people told me I was merely angry, as though anger were somehow unjustified, I had my community's attention. I then submitted a proposal to an organization that selectively funds school programs. I needed $1,500 to create a club that would pair middle school girls with an interest in STEM with accomplished and devoted high school mentors. I received the grant, and planning for GEMS, Girls, Engagement, and Mentorship in STEM, commenced. So far, GEMS has been successful, introducing a dozen 6th, 7th, and 8th graders to fields they might otherwise be too intimidated to pursue. My hope is to see GEMS continue for many years, even after I graduate, so that the climate towards girls in STEM in my school district becomes more friendly. Thank you.
Milt, we've got Gilmore Academy up next, again.
Yes. I must have quite a group of teachers over there.
I expect so, I expect so. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming Alexia Faulkner.
As Dan said, Alexia, you're a senior at Gilmore Academy.
Yes.
And you're a competitive swimmer for Gilmore and the U.S. team. Is that correct?
Yeah, a USA team.
A USA team. And what you like to do is to read, to write, and you play the piano. Wow. You know, in this day and age with the iPhones and the iPads, I don't hear too many kids saying that reading is one of their hobbies. Tell us what you like to read.
I like a lot of classics. F. Scott Fitzgerald is my favorite author, so a lot of his books.
Yeah, F. Scott Fitzgerald was quite a character, wasn't he? Well, you're going to attend Loyola University. That's in Chicago. Why did you pick that?
I've always loved big cities, so I was looking at mostly schools in Chicago and New York, so I just decided on Loyola.
Between the two, I think Chicago's a better bet, frankly.
It's cleaner.
I was raised in Chicago, so I know. And then you're going to go to Rome, Italy.
Yeah, next year.
Wow, that sounds great. Well, I'm going to ask you a tough question. Are you ready? Okay. What's the hardest thing about high school today?
For me, I think the hardest thing about high school is honestly going to be leaving. My friends and I today, we were talking about how we only have 11 days left of school, and it's going to be really, really sad to leave.
That's such an emotional statement. It's wonderful. Really is. Well, now, Alexia, you're on. This is your chance.
Thank you. There is a family on the swim team for which I am a coach. Normal family, 2 parents, 3 children. Their youngest child, Danny, is possibly the happiest baby I have ever known. He smiles at everything, the kind of scrunched up face, cheesy smile that really seeps into your skin. If you poke his tummy, he'll laugh uncontrollably, the deep baby kind of giggle that sounds almost like choking in the best way. He loves the water and people and playing with everyone's smartphones, of course. He watches his big brother and sister swim and play soccer, and he also happens to have Down syndrome. Sometimes hate isn't intentional. It isn't always rooted in malice, and it doesn't always grow in cruelty or stem from a place of deliberate evil. Sometimes hate simply blossoms from ignorance, blooming without anyone even realizing it's happening. It's because of this that sometimes being different is the hardest thing a person can be. Down syndrome tends to carry such a negative connotation. People think they're being kind, understanding, supportive even, but there is a fundamental difference between compassion and pity. Pity is discriminatory in its condescending nature. Pity is feeling sorry, but what good does that do? Constant looks of pity breed nothing but shame, but what is there to be ashamed of? Danny's mom, the obvious genetic supplier of his exuberance, didn't allow pity to infiltrate her life or the life of her family. She looked at her son and the pure radiance and bliss that he embodied and decided that there was nothing negative to look down upon. She coined the term up syndrome, indicating that Danny's syndrome brought positive, uplifting energy rather than a burden. The rest of the team, and the community for that matter, quickly followed her progressive example. The attitude of the team surrounding Danny was no longer something uncomfortable or something to feel sorry for, but rather something to be celebrated. He was something to be celebrated. He became almost like the community poster child for positivity. Everyone knew Danny and everyone loved him. As a coach and former swimmer on the team, I worked to embody this positive attitude. We had another child with Down syndrome, Madison, join, and when she became a part of the team, everyone had already adopted this new amazing outlook on Down syndrome, or rather, up syndrome. I worked to reflect this positivity by encouraging team spirit and inclusiveness among the swimmers, whether that be cheering behind each other's lanes or making signs for one another or just making sure everyone is included in games before practice. The negativity surrounding Down syndrome was a barrier, and all that was required to knock it down was pure positivity. It required being an activist for happiness. It required celebrating what everyone naturally wanted to pity. It required leading by example. Sometimes hate isn't something stuck in cruelty. Sometimes hate is just a mistake that can be corrected and transformed into something to celebrate. Thank you.
Next, we have a representative of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, Milt.
I see that.
Yeah, Kevin Gramo of John Marshall.
And Kevin, I see that you're a senior at John Marshall.
Indeed I am.
So you're just about ready to get out of there and go to Ohio State, I think.
Yes, that's true.
Why did you pick Ohio State?
Well, Ohio State has the 11th best marketing program in the country for public universities, and a big city, Columbus, and I want to stay in my home state.
That sounds nice. It really does. Somebody that wants to stay home state. Wow, that's great. I hear you play the guitar. Did you take lessons or what?
Well, learning the guitar.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just trying to self-teach myself.
And also you read a lot. And so that's nice to hear. Tell us about what your favorite is.
I like to read a lot of Greek mythology, so like Odysseus and things of that sort.
And what does that do for you?
I just think it's interesting how the stories represent a culture back then and how a lot of people, like, their beliefs travel into what we have today. Like, the Odyssey has been adapted into several different things, and I just think that's interesting.
And you're interesting, too.
Appreciate it.
Kevin, I'm going to ask you the tough question now.
Okay.
Kevin, what makes you the happiest?
I think there are two things that make me pretty happy, and that would be my family and soccer. I remember one of my happiest moments would probably be when my nephew, I was passing around a soccer ball with him, and he kicked in. He was like, "Yay, I scored a goal like you, Theo Kevin." But at the same time, it wasn't really at the goal, so I was like, do I play like that? But yeah.
Sounds good. And Kevin, it's now time for you to try to earn that $40,000. So it's your call.
Thank you. All right. Go back to your country. I stand there completely dumbfounded by what this other boy has just ignorantly exclaimed. How could I possibly return to my country? Was I not already living in it? I did not know it at the time, but this was my first encounter with bullying and furthermore prejudice. Bullying is a rising epidemic. Nearly 1/3 of high school students report being bullied. It is an issue that I strive to address and diminish in my community. There seems to be a growing trend where adolescents of different nationalities assimilate into the same sort of Western culture, leading to a loss of heritage. Bullying acts as a catalyst for this when students coerce their peers into thinking heritage is lame or uncool. This causes some students to lose a part of their identity. Amongst youth in our society, expressing culture is social suicide, and yielding to this misguided belief is cultural suicide. I aim to alter this. Throughout middle school, I was a victim of racial slurs from my peers and misguided beliefs that I could never achieve anything because of my race. My father had dropped out of the school in the 6th grade to support his family in their hometown of Sibilia, Guatemala. Once he immigrated to the United States and started a family, he was forced to work 70 to 80 hours a week for menial pay at a factory because of his lack of education. I felt I would suffer the same fate just because of the color of my skin. It was not until I acquired a passion for learning that I realized how much others with similar backgrounds as me were able to achieve. I believe the best way to overcome racism and prejudice is through education. Instilling values of cultural competence and respect has always been something I've worked towards. As president of my school's multicultural club and anti-bullying committee, I work to show my peers through exposure and education that diversity is essential to the success of any organization. Simply taking students on a trip to see museums full of cultural artifacts exposes them to other societies, which can have a tremendous impact on how they interact with others. In order to seize bullying and halt cultural decay, I have worked on posting an online blog, speaking at school assemblies, and even testified before the state senate in favor of an anti-cyberbullying bill. And although each individual aspect may seem insignificant, they all play a role in the domino effect that is change. The thought that culture in our society could one day diminish is terrifying. Our economy, education system, and workforce all thrive because of diversity. Diversity is a value that I fight for and will continue to fight for the rest of my life. Because without diversity, there are no new ideas, no room for growth, and no path to improvement. When people of different ethnicities, genders, cultures, and backgrounds come together, amazing things are possible. Thank you.
Aren't these kids great?
I was just thinking, you know, we've heard about homophobia, intolerance against people with disabilities, racism, xenophobia. I'm missing one. I can't keep it all straight. But Milt, this is what it's like every year. This is what you created.
And they earn it too.
They really do.
Yeah.
They really do. Next up, we have Shaker Heights High School, represented by Naya Hardaway.
Hi, Naya. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. You know, a little perspiration. So just take a deep breath, relax. Your friends are out here. Don't forget that. You're a senior at Shaker Heights High. I understand you enjoy swimming, but you also like to bake. Is that true?
Yes.
Tell us about baking.
Well, I try to get my friends together and we'll go in the kitchen and just spend hours like making cupcakes, brownies. And sometimes, occasionally for a birthday, we'll do a birthday cake, but that turned out bad.
I love cupcakes. Whoa, that's great. Now, here's something which I don't quite understand. It says here in my notes that you're interested in cognitive neuroscience and you plan to become a neonatologist. I don't know what that is. I don't know many people who do. Tell us about it.
Neonatology is basically the field of medicine that studies premature babies and basically tries to help with like sudden infant death syndrome and stuff like that, just trying to solve the rates of infant mortality across the world.
What a wonderful concept. Okay, now I'm going to ask you the tough one. You ready? Okay. What do you think is the most important discovery of the last century?
I would have to say antibiotics, because now, like today, we won't get severe complications from things like common colds or even like strep throat. So I think antibiotics are really important.
What a special lady we have up here, honest to gosh. Thank you so much, Naya, and now it's your turn.
Are you sure you're supposed to be in here? I was thrilled to be in my first advanced class, but my class wasn't thrilled to have me. I was certain that my success in the prerequisite courses for advanced placement would be a testimony as to why I was capable of excelling in the higher level courses. It hurt to realize that I was the only one who acknowledged my ambition and determination. It didn't matter what my previous accomplishments were. I was black. I didn't belong. I began to question where I fit in. Even though segregation is no longer, I'm still an outcast in my advanced placement courses. Statistically, as a black girl with a single mother, it's not my place. I'm constantly overwhelmed by this blunt truth. I'm an African American female taking higher level courses, and I am not supposed to be there. Unfortunately, this instance was only the tip of the iceberg of my encounters with judgment and discrimination. Initially, my seemingly endless experience led me to be discouraged and feel isolated. But I kept going. Adamant about defying statistics and showing other minorities that achievement in higher level education is possible, I faced head-on the uncomfortable environment of AP and arduously worked to prove that I belonged in AP just as much as my peers. But taking 9 AP courses has led to my frustration with our education system. Yes, schools are integrated. Yes, I technically have the same opportunities as my white counterparts. As a society, however, it's obvious that we are nowhere near where we need to be with regards to race relations. Although the injustice has been demoralizing to the utmost, I still have hope for the future. Diversity, recognition, and respect. 3 words crucial for transforming the face of education. With efforts to unify all youth and to prevent my experience of isolation and frustration for generations to come, I've broken down barriers and led by example. Last year, I founded Catalyst, a group that works to encourage students to value education as a gateway to opportunity and provide direction along the way. Also, as a peer mentor in our Minority Achievement Committee, I work to encourage underachieving minority females and provide academic guidance. Furthermore, I've given talks to the community on the achievement gap, facilitated discussions with my peers on the education system and privilege in America, and worked with my superintendent on a committee of students to solve problems in our school district. I fervently share my experiences and understandings as I meet more people and create new relationships in order to achieve my goal of transforming the face of education and eradicating discrimination. With a great deal of work left to do, I will continue to share my viewpoint and ensure that I stay involved with improving our education system. I'm black, and even though it seems like I have no place in the higher level education system, I will continue to stop the hate by promoting diversity, recognition, and respect. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you're up to tell us.
We are next is yet another student from Gilmore Academy, Anna Sophia Fain.
Okay. Greetings, Anna.
Hello.
Are you all ready to get in there?
Yes.
Good. I understand that you compete at the highest tier of U.S. Girls USA Hockey. Is that true?
Yes.
Tell us about why you got into hockey.
Well, I started in figure skating, and I absolutely hated every aspect of it, but I always looked up to my older brother, and my older brother played hockey. And so what else was there to do but play hockey? And it was just something I fell in love with and just got me an experience that I've grown in, but I also got to become closer with my brother, which is important to me.
That's great. Once upon a time, Cleveland had a hockey team.
Yeah, Guns Arena?
Yeah, and we don't have it anymore.
Nope.
Who knows, maybe someday you will be the one to bring it back.
I hope so.
You're passionate also about acting and social justice.
Yes.
The two are totally disparate. Tell us what and why.
Well, with acting, when I was little, I just loved to do performances. I would make like little tickets and give them to my parents at dinner. And I would say, like, come at 6 o'clock. And I would see Jim Carrey, and I don't know if anyone's seen Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but for some reason, I loved to do the Jim Carrey impression of the Grinch. And so I fell in love with acting and with embodying all that is. And then I guess I never stopped doing it. And then with social justice, I actually think there is a connection between acting and social justice, because as an actor, you get the opportunity to tell a story, to tell something that can fundamentally move people. And I think that if acting is used in the proper way and it is used to send a good message, then its impact can be monumental.
I've never heard actors talking along those lines. You are distinctive. Really, you are.
Thank you.
Now, are you ready for your tough question?
Yes.
What is your most treasured possession?
Well, when I think treasured possession, I think of something material. But if I think about my house burning down and the one thing I would save, it would probably be a giant panda my mom got me for my quinceañera. So I looked, okay, a little bit, not a giant panda. So then I think about what would I really miss, or what is something that I treasure. And it might sound cliche, but my family has given me absolutely everything, and everything that comes with my family, my heritage, and just how much they've been able to guide me and form me and keep me true to my family. It's just, I really don't know where I'd be without them. So.
Well, all I can say as a father of 3 children, I really appreciate those comments. I think I'll tell our kids what you just said.
Okay.
You're on.
The human condition, the curse that never exempts a single soul. In every human, there is a desire for happiness, for goodness, or for some sort of success, though what that means varies from person to person. This curse drives people to do the unimaginable. It leads people to turn a blind eye to the vulnerable in order to believe that ultimate happiness is just within their grasp. When I was living in Costa Rica, my friend and I always walked from our houses to school together. And one day, she just disappeared. With no warning and no explanation, my friend was gone, and no one even offered a hint to an explanation. No one wanted to tell me the truth, but years later, I found out my friend was sold into child slavery by her father. She was not accepted or recognized as a human being worthy of respectful treatment, and to this day, I do not know if she is alive. This barrier of poverty and of disregard for human life has led to the enslavement of over 5 million children today. These are our children. However, the global community often does not like to acknowledge the existence of slavery, much less act upon it. After research and an increased interest, I established the Peace and Justice Club at my school in order to discover more about the topic. I conducted a research project my junior year and discovered how often authorities do not report human trafficking cases. No one wants to hear about the girl who was kidnapped and exploited and sold to a foreign territory. But yet somehow the greatest fashion tragedy never fails to make the news. The need for honesty and compassion is crucial in order to break down the cultural barriers and the fear of the unknown, leading to a greater growth as a nation and as a world today. Today, the horrors of the past are often taught in order to avoid future occurrences, and likewise, the reality of slavery needs to be taught. I work in a partnership with the SOAP Outreach Program in order to bring awareness to the Cleveland area as well as to work to save any lives of those trapped in human trafficking. I label bars of soap with the name and number of a safety hotline and distribute them to local hotels in hopes that I can just touch one life. After speaking with a local police department about red flags seen in the community, I created posters to be put around the community in an effort to raise awareness. I also work with an orphanage and shelter in Costa Rica to aid those in danger of trafficking, as well as the victims. As I move on to college, I plan to continue to speak out about human trafficking and the importance of community awareness in order to address its prevalence. I will also join or start an organization to work to fight slavery, bringing a realization that every human is worthy of acceptance and of love, that every person is priceless. Thank you.
You know, there's one thing I don't think I would want to do.
Enter the contest yourself?
No, be a judge. Whoa. I think that's a difficult...
It is, absolutely. You had me do it one year, and it wasn't fun.
I remember.
Next up, we have Vishnu Nistala from Mentor High School. She's a senior there. Or he's a senior there, pardon me. Pardon me. Good to see you.
Hi, Vishnu. Welcome. Vishnu is an interesting name. It's not one that I'm familiar with. What's its heritage?
So, Vishnu is an ethnically Hindu name, and it is actually one of the gods of the Hindu religion.
Wow. I think we've learned something today, haven't we? Well, Vishnu, you're a senior in Mentor High, and I understand that you love math and you love science. Science is a big concept. Narrow it down for us. What in science intrigues you?
So, in the world of science, I would say the things I'm most enthralled with would be specifically physics, and to narrow that down even further, more or less aerodynamics. So, I've been sort of an airplane nerd since I was a kid, so aviation in all its glory has fascinated me. And so, from there, I've kind of developed a love for just how these things work, how these airplanes are able to fly. And so, I've always been kind of interested in aerodynamics, so how the wings work, how the whole plane comes together, that kind of stuff.
That's wonderful. Now tell us how you're going to evolve that into an educational program. Where would you be going and what would you be doing?
So in the fall, I will be going to Georgia Tech to pursue my dream of becoming an aerospace engineer. And so my goal ultimately is to, go through undergraduate into grad school and then become a professional in the field.
Good luck. We wish you the very, very best.
Thank you.
And I think you've got the makings of something along those lines, such as possibly an aerospace engineer.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you ready for the tough one?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. What has been the proudest moment in your life thus far?
Okay, so I would say the proudest moment of my life thus far occurred in 2012, when, as an 8th grader, I was the first student from my district and my school to make it to the National Spelling Bee. So after some 4 to 5 years of kind of just, repeatedly spelling words, going through word lists, all the shebang, and a few failed tries in between, I finally made it in 8th grade, and so that was probably my biggest accomplishment. I managed to make it to the semifinals, and I finished 22nd in the nation.
Wow, isn't that great? Okay, Vishnu, I think you're up.
All right,
Batter
let's
up.
do this. While volunteering at the local senior center, I became close friends with one senior, Bob, who lived on a farm nearby. During the summer, Bob invited me to his farm to help him out with a project he had recently undertaken, restoring an antique tractor. One weekend, I was helping him out in the shop when he had to leave to feed his cattle. He directed me to remove a few nuts and bolts before he returned. So, as I busied myself wrestling with old rusty bolts, I suddenly heard a woman hollering shrilly. "Bob, there's someone in your shop trying to steal your tools," she kept screaming. "He's black. He looks like a thug." A boy about my age was with her, with a crooked smile on his face. He was evidently enjoying the scene. She quickly gave him orders to call the cops, and he reached for his cell phone. I was dumbfounded. Me, a thug, trying to steal his tools? I tried to form words without tearing up. "Ma'am, I'm not a criminal. I'm just here helping Bob with this tractor." But I trailed off, as she evidently wasn't listening to a word I was saying. As a first-generation American with Indian parents, my brown skin oftentimes looks almost black due to my skin condition, severe eczema. I'm often mistaken for an African American or a Muslim, and that's all that mattered to her. She jumped to conclusions simply based on the color of my skin. She was even wearing a nurse's uniform, so I was absolutely astonished that she couldn't realize that under our skin, we all have the same blood. She told the boy to watch me and went out to find Bob, while I stood there, speechless and humiliated. As I waited, flabbergasted, he started harassing me, filthy, colorful vocabulary, racist and bigoted slurs, repeatedly cussing, telling me to go home to Al-Qaeda. I stayed calm until Bob returned, still hearing the woman's pained insistences that I was a criminal. I quickly rushed out, on the brink of tears, still in disbelief. I was mortified by the way they treated me, and especially by the ignorance and the cruelty of the teenager. This is simply not how kids our age should be brought up or act. So, I decided to take up a leadership role as a teen ambassador to the Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine, through which I help promote the importance of diversity and work on pressing issues relating to the state's youth. In addition, through the Big Brothers and Big Sisters organization, I mentor disadvantaged school children, teaching them to treat everyone with dignity. I don't want them either to experience the hatred that I did or be the ones directing the hatred towards anyone else. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Intolerance is in itself a form of violence and an obstacle to the growth of a true democratic spirit. In order to stop the hate, we must learn to understand and embrace the diversity among ourselves." Thank you.
You know, as I hear these children and I think of all the people requesting funds for various philanthropies and charities.
Do people ask you for money, Milt? I'm sorry.
And I think Tamar and I, we both have said to us there couldn't have been a more worthwhile activity than supporting these kids and helping to get them into college. This is meaningful.
Couldn't agree more. We've worked our way through eight finalists,
Right.
and our ninth is finally we get a little Summit County representation, I believe, here. We've got Alexandra Wainwright, a senior at Firestone High School.
Alexandra, I understand you like to read and to travel, and you have some compatriots who also are readers. What is your favorite reading?
My favorite reading?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love mystery novels.
Really?
I've always loved mystery novels. I think I started reading Nancy Drew in first grade, and I just went on from there to Agatha Christie and pretty much everything else. So
Did you ever think of writing a novel yourself?
I have thought about it. I've attempted too many times, and I generally get a few pages in and give up because just a little lacking in creativity sometimes.
Well, according to this, you plan to serve others by combining business and disability studies. So obviously you're looking forward to a college education. Where are you looking for?
I plan to attend Ohio University, the Honors Tutorial College there, and major in business administration and possibly concentrate in marketing or finance.
Okay, I think we're ready to throw the big one at you.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yes.
What do you hope most for your future?
Well, for my future, no matter where my life takes me, where I end up, or what job I have, or anything, what I want most out of my future is to impact at least one person in a positive way. Because I think we all have a little bit of I want to change the world in us. I want to make the world a better place. And even if that's only one person, it definitely makes a difference. So.
We need people like you in the world, that's for sure. You're on.
In October of my freshman year, I walked into the locker room after a long day of marching band practice to find my sister Sophie on the floor fighting to fend off 4 boys who were tickling her, poking her, and laughing at her futile attempts to raise herself up from the floor. What they did not know was that Sophie has ankylosing spondylitis, a form of autoimmune juvenile arthritis, an invisible illness that causes severe pain, stiffness, and joint damage. What was to the boys a harmless prank was devastatingly painful and embarrassing for my sister. Our friends succumbed to the bystander effect. They ignored Sophie's cries for help. The band director's lack of response to the incident, despite knowing about the severity of her condition, was only one of many times an authority figure has neglected to react appropriately to discrimination against someone living with a handicapping condition. This incident made me realize how important it is for everyone to be aware of each other's differences in order to build acceptance and equality. Watching Sophie's struggles throughout high school has inspired me to contribute to people's knowledge and acceptance of disabilities. An opportunity to take action arose when I was selected to be one of 30 people serving on a nationwide committee to plan Youth 2015, a quadrennial convention serving over 5,000 teens that was held in Orlando last summer. I volunteered to run the subgroup that organized disability accommodations for the event. As a result of my sister's experiences, I'm used to thinking about mobility disabilities, but I had not thought about other issues that might make people feel excluded. Because of the diversity on the design team, we realized the need for additional areas of inclusion with respect to people's disabilities. In addition to creating access for wheelchairs, we also had American Sign Language interpreters and audio descriptive activities. Since many of our concerts were loud with fast lighting changes, we had a special room set aside with video and audio feed for people who preferred or needed a more distraction-free environment. These feeds were very helpful for attendees with PTSD, epilepsy, and certain forms of autism. Within the convention center, everyone felt included and accepted, in part because our team worked so hard to create inclusive, safe spaces. Because of the variety of talents and experiences we brought to the team, we were able to host an event that was exciting, accessible, and inclusive. My experience at Youth 2015 has encouraged me to take what I have learned and apply it to my college experience and beyond. I hope to continue to raise awareness and acceptance of disabilities on a wider scale. I would like to pursue a degree in marketing combined with disability studies in order to ensure proper accommodations for disabilities of any nature, including those that may not be obvious or familiar to most people. I hope to use my education to have a positive impact in my community, my country, and the world.
Like you said, it's a tough job if you're a judge. Guess where our last student goes to school, Milt?
I got a feeling I know.
Newport Gull's a senior at none other than Gilmore Academy.
Would you believe this year, out of the 10, 3 of them came from Gilmore Academy?
I think it's 4.
Is it 4?
4, yeah, 4.
4, wow.
A junior? A junior. But she writes like a senior. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, Nupur. How are you, my dear?
I am doing well. How are you?
You are a junior, and pretty soon you're going to be in your last year.
That is true.
Have you been thinking much about where you will go to college after that?
I haven't given it much thought. I've been stuck in the ignorance is bliss phase of high school, but I really do want to attend a college that enables me to grow deeper and learn more about myself and connect with others. And I really want to go into a profession that allows me to help others.
I was told that your strength is in connecting with others. Tell us what you mean by that.
Well, I am an active participant in speech and debate. And so I spend most of my weekends competing in uncomfortable clothing early Saturdays. And one of the greatest things is being able to stand up in front of a crowd and just communicate a message. And you can see that sparkle in people's eyes when they understand what you're saying and they care about your message. And so I think that connecting is one of the most important things.
I think that's fascinating because myself, I have found that making relationships is what builds, I think, an enterprise and just real friendships all over. You know, it says here that you're interested in psychiatry, which means medicine as well.
Of course.
Tell us about what that means to you.
Okay. Well, I think it all ties together with connecting because, you know, we think about mental illnesses and there's not many people focus on that and realize that that is a huge epidemic and people need help with their mental illnesses. And I think that psychiatry is a noble profession in which you are able to connect with others and to help them through their issues.
Well, working with mental illness is becoming more and more an impactful situation, and for the better for these poor people.
Of course.
Okay, are you set for the tough one?
I am.
Nupur, are you ready? Yes, you say, so here it is. Have you a mentor, someone who's guided you that you respect?
Well, to me, a mentor is someone who you can look up to and always go to for guidance and assistance. And in my high school experience, I have found myself a mentor. His name is Dr. Vaughn, and he's actually in the audience right now. And I think Dr. Vaughn has always been there to help me and assist me if I had any problems. And he's always just been a beacon of hope and light in my life.
That's wonderful. Doctor, are you in the audience? Why don't you stand up so we can all see you? This has to be a rewarding experience for you as her mentor. It's wonderful. Well, you're on your own.
Eyes cast down, I centered my attention on my cluttered cafeteria tray. I walked until my path was blocked by something. As I lifted my eyes, I realized that the something was a group of classmates. I greeted them with a warm smile. Their response was a cold glower, followed by a question. You're Indian, so why are you here? Why am I here? From Delhi to Delaware, Calcutta to Canada, and Mumbai to Mexico, over 1 billion Indians have settled across the globe. However, as I transitioned from a public school to a private Catholic institution, all of my preconceived notions about cultural diversity collapsed. In my entire school, I was one of the 3 Indian students, and I was the only female. Standing out was never the problem. It was the insensitivity and absence of empathy. My parents emigrated from India with only $500 in their pockets. They managed to actualize the American dream despite racial and religious insensitivity. My parents nurtured me in an inclusive environment, hoping that I would never encounter the social adversities they had to face. On vacations to our homeland, we visited Sikh temples and Muslim mosques. My parents always taught me to value and accept the richness and traditions of all cultures. I embraced this philosophy at my new school. I participated in Catholic traditions and immersed myself in their beliefs. Yet, I constantly received negativity, non-cooperation, and the inevitable question, why are you here? My defeated efforts left me devastated, infuriated, and awfully confused. If I was willing to accept Catholic beliefs and values, why was no one willing to even contemplate mine? After a long and frustrating reflection, I decided to confront my attackers. Rather than admitting my emotional torment or relying on physical retaliation, I asked them a simple question. What do you know about India? Their knowledge consisted of Gandhi and curry. Recognizing their limitations, I knew what I had to do. Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world." Our school only offers religion courses centered around Catholicism. How could I expect people to know about my culture without opportunities? As soon as I had this epiphany, I drafted a course proposal designed to offer historical perspectives on humanity's major spiritual traditions. The class would be the first course at our Catholic school to focus exclusively on non-Western cultures. I was ecstatic to hear that the elective was approved by the Director of Academic Services and will be available for enrollment next fall. Although it is a small victory, the course will be a huge step towards promoting a more inclusive community at my school. So, why am I here? I am here because I am an empathetic human being trying to coexist in the world. I am here as an activist for different cultures. And I am here because education, love, and acceptance are the first steps to breaking down the barriers of apathy, hatred, and intolerance. Thank you.
I want to say something on behalf of all of the quote-unquote adults in the room. To all 10 of you, your passion, your grace, your empathy, your activism is an inspiration. Abraham Lincoln spoke of accessing the better angels of our nature. I believe that all 10 of you are our better angels. Thank you so much. In a few moments, we're going to welcome the 6th through 10th grade winners to the stage. But before we do so, we're going to be entertained by an original song by some 7th and 8th grade students from the Newton D. Baker School. I like getting to say Newton D. Baker because he was one of the founders of the City Club of Cleveland and our mayor in Cleveland in 1912. Big thanks to grants from the Martha Holden Jennings Foundation, the Abington Foundation, the Breuning Foundation, the Nord Family Foundation, for their contributions, making it possible for more than 1,100 students in the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, Lakewood City Schools, East Cleveland City Schools, Cleveland Heights, University Heights School District, and Lorain County, all of whom expressed their collective ideas on stopping discrimination and hatred through music in our 2016 Youth Sing Out contest. Roots of American Music, a local music education nonprofit, went into the schools and worked with students to write and perform original song lyrics. You heard earlier from Midview High School in Lorain, whose first-time entry was runner-up in the high school competition. And now we're all about to hear from our middle school winner, and in a few minutes from our high school winners at Cleveland Heights High School. But here's our middle school winners. Take it away.
praise music, music.
Don't you think we're being a bit cliche? Let's deal with the issues we face today. Murders in our neighborhood, and that's no lie. Hate is the reason why 5-year-olds die. Gangs and violence is what we need to change. Kids dying, mothers crying, feel their pain. People being victims of police brutality. Rioting started, and it's a messy tragedy. Don't you think we're being a bit cliche? Let's deal with the issues we face today. Murders in our neighborhood, and that's no lie. Hate is the reason why 5-year-olds die. Nobody's perfect, we all call names. This is the hate, we need to change. Being upstairs and someone getting bullied. This world is getting very unruly. Don't you think we're being a bit cliche? Let's deal with the issues we face today. Murders in our neighborhood, and that's no lie. Hate is the reason why 5-year-olds die. How you killing babies, that's a crying shame. This is real, it ain't no game. Soldiers fighting, criminals denying. The stress of it all keeps families divided. Don't you think we're being a bit cliche? Let's deal with the issues we face today. Murders in our neighborhood, and that's no lie. Hate is the reason why 5-year-olds die.
Hate is a problem in our society today, from shootings to riotings. We need to speak up to make peace in our neighborhoods.
All right. Now, before we begin announcing our Youth Speak Out winners, we're going to hear from this next generation of leaders in their own words as they share excerpts from their essays in a brief video.
Every human is worthy of acceptance and love.
We are all together in this world.
Hatefulness is a weakness.
We must learn to understand and embrace the diversity among ourselves.
Be aware of each other's differences.
Be sensitive to people's feelings.
Diversity, recognition, respect. 3 words crucial with regards to transforming the face of education.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Stand up. One can only stand the status quo for so long before the desire for change consumes her.
We all need to stand up for what we believe.
Getting angry and shaming people is not the way to change the way we think.
Becoming informed and developing your own opinion is the only way to move beyond stereotypes.
Education, love, and acceptance are the first steps to breaking down barriers.
By not intervening, you make the victim feel forgotten.
The loss of a friend is nothing compared to a loss of life.
Speak out.
Speak out.
Speak out. The ability to speak up for yourself is crucial.
Speak up before a situation gets worse.
Staying silent is never the answer.
I always try to speak up for people who are afraid to do it themselves.
I will choose to be brave. Break the silence and stop the hate.
Stop the hate.
Stop the hate.
Stop the hate.
What will happen is up to us, those of us who act.
I learned how to overcome adversity and be a leader.
I am an activist for happiness.
Diversity is a value I fight for.
I can make a difference.
We 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 can make a difference.
All right, we're about to name some winners here. All the way across. Do we have enough room? All right. Can hardly see. Hello, everybody. So, these are our winners from grades 6 through 10. These young people are our future, and all of you young people, we hope to see you up here, behind, seated on the stage in a couple of years. Now, each of them knows that they're finalists, but they do not know until their name is read what prize they have achieved. So this is kind of exciting. We're going to start with the 6th grade. In 6th grade, in 3rd place, Jada Collins from Paul L. Dunbar Elementary. In 2nd place, Madison Tatum from Campus International. And in 1st place, Matthew Mullen Gray, also from Campus International. For 7th grade, 3rd place, Yoav Pinhasi from Beechwood Middle School. Do it like he did. Hold it up high when your name is called. It's more fun that way. 2nd place, Shayna Preisler, also from Beechwood Middle. And 1st place is Lauren Paulus from Highland Middle School. In the 8th grade, our 3rd place finisher, Athena Grasso from Beechwood Middle School. In 2nd place, Henry Pentecost from Roxborough Middle School in Cleveland Heights. And in 1st place, Jacob Gibson, Rocky River Middle. Now to our 9th grade finishers. In 3rd place, Eli Goldman, Beechwood High School. 2nd place, Siobhan Jackson from the School of One. And 1st place, Ella Tell from Hawkins School. Tenth grade, we have in 2nd place, Ellie Gutierrez from Magnificat High School. And in 1st place, also from Magnificat, Kendra Kalish. It should be noted, too, that the 3rd place finisher in the 10th grade couldn't be here tonight, but she's also from Mags. So give it up for Mags. Congratulations to all of you. You give us hope for the future. Thank you. Very exciting. Thank you very much. In 8 years, these last 8 years, the Maltz Museum will have granted $800,000, primarily to students. This year, 4 schools will also receive grants for anti-bias education so that they can further their participation in Stop the Hate, to educate students on a school-wide basis and make positive changes in their communities. We're going to present 5 of those winners now. Congratulations to Newton D. Baker School of the Arts, who had the highest percentage of essays submitted, earning their school a $10,000 grant. I need up here on stage Christine Campion, Tamara Blair, and Michelle Pomerantz to accept the award. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And who else? Well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. You're the principals here.
Wendy Rose Geiling, principal of Newton D. Baker.
There's a camera. There's a camera. Do we do a big picture here? All right. Oh, it's very flowy. Maybe I can borrow it. Wonderful. Thank you very much. I don't think you guys should go anywhere. Hold on. Because we have another award for Newton D. Baker. Thank you. Our 2 first-place Stop the Hate Youth Sing Out winners who split a $10,000 grant, again, our friends from Newton D. Baker, and Superintendent Talissa L. Dixon from Cleveland Heights High School. Please come up to accept the award. D. Baker again. Keep it going, keep it going. Now one big, larger group picture here. Excellent. Thank you all so much. The final $10,000 grant will be awarded to the school that goes along with our grand prize scholarship winner in just a few minutes. Oh my God! So congratulations to all of you. Not only are we connecting all of these students to the essay contest, but we are also connecting all of these students to anti-bias education. All right. These guys hardly need an introduction. He's done it. You just, there you go. You want here. Okay. Cleveland Heights University Heights, ladies and gentlemen, give it up.
So I could try to stop the bullets before they disperse. Cause every single day is just another victim. I ain't talking windows when I tell you it's a faulty system.
It used to be Hitler and his Aryan race. Now it's women in India with burns on their face. Mothers and fathers losing their babies. But these are the same babies whose voices make changes. Speak up, somebody tell me what's wrong with the world. Yesterday's strange fruit hanging from a cottonwood. Today's strange fruit getting shot in the hood. We're killing our own kind saying it's all good. But really we're another where MLK stood.
Families and friends meet it one last time, except there's no one talking, it's just one more crime. And nobody looks at to say what's wrong. Well, that's the whole reason that we writing this song. You gotta listen, our skin, our clothes, our hair, whatever, our race, our religion, it don't matter in heaven. There's a shooter in my school interrupting my lesson. And just hold on one more second while I pray for my blessing. Where's my blessing?
Can anybody help me? It's time to make a change. Can anybody help me? It's time to make a change. Stand up. Let's make the world a better place.
tears running down a child's face. Hey, a better place.
That was excellent. Thank you to all the students who have performed here today. I'm looking around for a cue to find out whether or not the envelopes are ready yet. Anybody know? No? Yes? We do have envelopes. Yay, we have envelopes. So this is the moment. Milton Tamar, please, we need you. Okay. We're very pleased to welcome to the stage now, too, Lawrence Hirsch from RSM, who's bringing out these sealed envelopes.
Well, we're getting very close to the moment of truth, but indeed. I just want to say to all these wonderful 10 kids who won, we're very, very proud of you, and most importantly, your family, your mom, your dad, your relatives are extremely proud of each and every one of you.
All right, are we ready? Where do we start? Should we start with the second runner-up?
Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the second runner-up and winner of a $10,000 scholarship is...
You got it?
Got it. Vishnu Nistala.
Come over here. Hey, Milt, come on, come over here.
No, you're supposed
What? You are. I'm holding that. You guys get over here. I don't need to be in this picture. I was in the other one. You ready? Congratulations.
You do the next one.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the first runner-up, who is the winner of a $15,000 scholarship, is... Christian Borkey.
Look at this. Get over here. Stand over here. Hold your check. Get in here, you guys. Come on. Woo.
Okay. I think now...
Are we ready?
We're ready.
The big winner?
For the big winner.
Which one of you is going to read this one?
Winner receives...
Maybe we should wait. Do you guys want to... Are you okay?
We gotta wait
No?
for the
No,
drum
we
roll.
can't wait. Okay.
Hold your breath. It'll only take a second.
We just need a drum roll, please.
Not only will our grand prize winner receive $40,000 scholarship.
Sorry, that was my bad. I had the cue wrong. I had the cue wrong.
It's called a cue, Dan.
Yeah, sorry.
A $40,000 scholarship. Their school will also win a $10,000 anti-bias education grant. So the grand prize winner of a $40,000 college scholarship from our museum is, drum roll. And now the name of the winner of $40,000.
The name of the winner is Nupir Goet.
Mom and Dad, get up here. Mom and Dad, come on up.
What are we waiting for? It seems we still want more. No one can take away the dreams we have today. Yeah, you can go with the flow, don't you see, don't you know? There's a life that burns inside you. You can shout, let it out, not a care, not a doubt. This is it, let the moment guide you.
I believe there's a cartoon made by Disney who says at the very end of the cartoon, the. That's all, folks.
Okay. We also have an award, though, for Gilmore, right? So
$10,000.
the $10,000 anti-bias education grant. Who's here from Gilmore Academy to receive this award? Here we go. Is it John Wanders? What is his name? What is his name?
Mr. Breuning.
Mr. What?
Mr. Breuning, or the faculty
Yeah.
from Gilmore.
Let's get all the faculty from Gilmore up here. Come on. Yeah. Please. Come on up.
Mr. Wanders, please.
Congratulations. Well done. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here tonight. We're going to do some pictures up here. You're all wonderful. You all are wonderful. And I don't believe there's anything left in the script. So as Milt said, right? Ebony, ebony, ebony. That's all, folks. Thank you so much.